Welcome home, horror fans. My name's Adam.
And I'm Zoe.
And today we're doing the top 10 smartest decisions in the Saw franchise.
There's not very many of them, so it wasn't a hard list to put together.
I think there's some decent ones. There's some good.
Take. There's a lot more dumb decisions in Saw than there is smart. But we've got, our top 10 here, and I think that it's pretty decent.
Yeah, after 10 movies, you'd think that there was at least 10 smart moves made. So anyway, let's start with number 10. What have we got?
Number 10, we have Cecilia uses intestines as a rope.
We have a rope.
No.
Yes. I mean, no one can fault this. It's obviously a smart move. When we were sitting there watching it for the first time, watching her cut that body up, we were like, what is she doing?
Yeah, it's hard to even think about what she's actually doing because she doesn't let anyone in on what she's doing. She just pulls Valentina's body over, grabs a piece of metal on there and cuts open her stomach. And the whole time you're like, what is she doing?
What is she doing?
And Mateo makes a great point at the start where he says, I think it's Gabriella as well. Mateo agrees. Where they say, we could take off our clothes and tie our clothes together and use that as a rope. And Cecilia's like, I'll one-up you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you really could just use their
There
clothes,
were other
Cecilia.
ways, but you had to be gross about it.
Yeah, this is a great moment for Cecilia as a character because it does just go to show how grotesque and insane and just a genuinely horrible person she is.
But she's also very smart.
Very smart, and the scene works.
Yeah, you didn't see it coming in the moment, and then when it started to happen, she lifts it up and goes, "We've got rope," and you're like, "Whoa!"
Oh, that's what she's doing. Oh, you
Very
could have just
cool.
used the clothes,
Yes.
but that's fine.
Yeah, that's right. What do we got? Number 9.
Number 9, we have Logan tricks Halloran. But I tell you what, there's something about this scene
You
that
love
I
this
just
scene.
look forward to every single time. It's just the look on Halloran's face when he realizes that Logan's collar that went off across the room from him was not real.
Yeah, and there's a particular point in this scene. Which part do you like? I know you've mentioned it multiple times. It's the lasers on the roof.
Yeah,
You love the lasers on the roof.
That's like it, right? When Halloran sort of looks at Logan's body and then looks up at the roof. And he looks up at his roof first and he sees like the beaming lasers have gone right through and then looks directly across him and sees nothing. There's no damage to the roof at all. I think it's so smart for a film because at this point in the movie, you're like, well, something's got to happen. Like something's got to piece this together because we don't know anything about who the true killer is, whether John Kramer's back from the dead, because that seems to be what they allude to the whole time.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, way too much. They even alluded to it in the trailer. You're like, oh my God, John Kramer's back. He's not. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But yeah, it's a moment in the film where you're like, something has got to happen, and it does. And you're like, oh my God, mind blown. It's been Logan the whole time.
Yeah, and the laser collar.
Hello, Zep.
The laser collar trap's a bit over the top, but it was cool. It was a cool fake out, and what a scene.
Yeah,
Nice way to
what a
finalise
scene.
the
I
whole
speak
film.
for the dead. So do I. So do I.
Moving on to number 8, we have...
Number 8, we have staging Perez's death.
Detective Hoffman?
Perez.
Yes, now, an interesting move on their part to pretend Perez was dead. Did it really accomplish much? I don't really know, to
I
be
don't
honest.
think it really did, to be honest. I think that the move in itself is smart, like having a detective who you think is dead actually still be working behind the scenes on the case. And I think that it's very smart considering obviously Hoffman had let in Erickson that Strahm thought that someone on the inside was working on the case. So he figured keeping someone on the inside secret would be beneficial to them. So it does make a lot of sense and it is really smart. I don't think it really did much in the grand scheme of things, but a very smart play.
Yeah, they probably should have kept this lie up a bit longer, maybe kept Perez away from Hoffman because... Yeah, in the end, it was only ever going to get her killed when they revealed that she was still alive.
Exactly, and you've got to start to wonder at this point where they reveal that Perez is still alive, did they know that Hoffman was...
It's confusing,
in on
isn't
it? Like, it's really confusing because you know, like obviously in the scene, the right now you're feeling helpless scene, you know that they know then, but
Even then, they're like taunting Hoffman the whole time, acting like, oh, this is happening and this is happening. They're always like making out to Hoffman like, we kind of know you're the killer, just by the way.
Yeah.
And Hoffman's like, oh yeah, and he's drinking his coffee.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting scene. I don't know whether bringing her in was to maybe like have Hoffman on edge a bit. Like I'm not sure. Maybe they wanted to bring her in and have him slip up somewhere along the line.
He certainly did. He slipped up and slipped someone's throat right up as well.
Yeah, he slipped the whole bloody police station up.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, moving on to the next one. What do we got?
Number 7, we have Seth Baxter's murder.
Yeah, framing Seth Baxter's murder as a Jigsaw murder. He did a pretty damn good job, I'm going to say.
I think this is another one where the act itself was smart, but it didn't end up too good for him in the end, just like staging Perez's death.
Well, becoming a disciple, I mean, look, at least he got to get revenge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the act itself, like he purely just wanted revenge for his sister's death. And, well, it worked out in his favour.
Yeah.
He got away with it. Technically speaking, the police never suspected him until they found out he was a Jigsaw killer, which I think very, very, very smart play on his half.
Yes, on his part, yeah. I think that he did a great job. He did copy it exactly. If it wasn't that for that bloody autopsy guy.
I know.
And he's like, oh, it's a different knife being used.
Yeah.
Shut up. No one cares.
He did so good of a job that he had Billy in it before anyone had even seen Billy.
Yes. That's a whole other kettle of fish.
Great job, Hoffy.
Yeah, he did a really great job. And the trap was like, you know, it was an inferior blade, but it was,
one of the more
was still
grotesque traps in the franchise.
yeah,
for sure.
grotesque enough to be believable that it would be Jigsaw.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess good on Hoffman for making a trap so disgusting and really getting his revenge on Seth Baxter. Because even for the small little bit that we saw of Seth Baxter, he's a horrible person, and we're glad he died.
And it was a grotesque. It really was one of the most brutal traps too.
It was, yeah, the guts splaying across the wall. I actually read a Reddit post or a Facebook post the other day from someone in the Saw group that said that they were watching it on TV, like the movie had aired on TV, and that trap was extremely cut. And I'm like, yeah, well, rightfully so.
I remember watching it the first time and thinking, this is one of the goriest scenes. It's it's a bit over the top. You loved it though.
I love it. It's great. Hoffman did it, so bit of a work of art, I reckon.
What do we got next?
Next up, number 6, we have Daniel Plays Dead.
Yes, Daniel playing dead, of course, a very smart move.
Very, very smart move.
It's,
you got to wonder whether it was Daniel's idea or whether it was Amanda's idea.
Well, that's true, you know, I guess either way, but a great ending to Saw 2 in this exact moment. We don't really necessarily know as an audience whether he is actually passed out too because of the nerve gas and all sort of stuff. It works out really, really well. I think that whole scene plays out really smart because not only do you have Daniel playing dead and being able to sort of like, you know, strike at the right moment, but you also have Amanda sort of playing Xavier by saying like, how do you know your own number?
Exactly.
Well.
And I think that upon the first viewing of Saw 2, you don't know that Amanda's in on it. So you really do have a fear that maybe Daniel is dead.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's... not going to be a part of it anymore. But yeah, Amanda playing Xavier while Daniel is waiting for the moment to sneak in with the blade is really, really cool. I think that is definitely one of the smarter decisions from a smaller character in the film.
Yes.
Anyways,
yes.
yeah.
As small as Daniel Matthews is, because we do love him.
Yeah.
And honorable mention for Saw 2, of course, just the idea of putting Daniel into a safe.
In a safe place.
In a safe place by John Kramer and pretending it to be live, the feed being live, but it's not. Good old John.
A lot of smart decisions from John in Saw 2.
Yeah, smart move.
A lot of smart decisions from John in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saw 2, he was a bit of a trickster.
He was a bit of a trickster, a bit of a joker. What do we got next?
All right, number 5, we have Eric Matthews breaks his own foot.
Very smart move.
This one is amazing.
Yes, very smart
because
move.
we're put it back in the bathroom where Dr. Gordon had cut off his foot and Adam and everything. The whole events of Saw 1 went down. So seeing Daniel Matthews shackled up and having that saw nearby, you're like, oh, repeat of Saw 1. He's going to cut off his foot. And then he does something unexpected and pulls that piece of ceramic from the toilet over the toilet lid, and you think, what the hell is going on here? Now, this to me is one of the most grotesque moments in the whole franchise.
You have a hard time watching this scene.
I will watch it. I just think it's disgusting. The sound that it makes, the constant bashing. Yeah. I think the eeriness of it as well, because he's in the dark the whole time. And then just that moment where he grabs his foot and he snaps it back the wrong way. It is horrifying. It is so hard to watch, and it feels so real.
Yeah, I also love the fact that this move by old Eric Matthews kind of makes the whole Saw 1 sort of invalid.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when you do see him chained up, you're like, oh no, not that again. And then he's like, I'm out of here in 2 seconds. See you later.
Yeah, I know.
It's a
well,
boss
that's what
move.
the Saw 8 or Saw 12 will be when Hoffman like just picks a lock or something dumb.
Gets out
like
instantly.
he beats his monkey chest and gets the key out of the drain. It's gonna be like, why, man? Saw 1 so invalid now.
Yeah, it's fun to be able to go back and speed run Saw 1 now
I
from
know.
another character.
Eric Matthews escapes the bathroom in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, look, if he can do it, Mark Hoffman can do it.
Exactly right.
What do we got next?
Next up, we have John recruiting Dr. Gordon. This is, I don't really think about it that much because you don't really think about it at all. You hate the fact that Dr. Gordon is an apprentice.
I have to accept it.
But aside from the reveal itself, like I always get excited seeing him pull off the pig mask at the end of Saw 3D. I think it's very like,
I get excited.
oh my god, no way! It's that creepy dude from the start of Saw 3D. He's an apprentice, no way. But I think that on John's behalf, recruiting someone in the medical industry and having him help out with some of his more intense traps and having him be on the side and Amanda, John, Logan, them not knowing that Dr. Gordon exists, very smart.
Or let's just say that the writers / producers were very smart at
To bring him back.
at
Well-
bringing him back and then rewriting all the previous movies to say it was him the whole time.
If you want
Now
to
it
get
makes sense.
technical,
Yeah.
it wasn't the writers. It was some fan theory that the writers were like, hey, that's a great idea.
Well, I mean,
Let's
sure, they
steal that."
stole the idea, but at the
Stole
same
the
time,
idea.
it was good of them to actually go ahead and do it.
Yep.
And then just all lined up, it makes so much sense
That-
that he was in the whole thing.
Aside from Hoffman's return in Saw X at the end credit scene, that's probably the most fan servicey moment in the whole franchise, bringing back Gordon as the apprentice. I can't imagine there being another big moment like that until they say that Adam's alive. Because that's another fan servicey moment that everyone goes on about.
Yeah, on that note, is Adam alive?
No, he's not. He's not.
But he
But
could be.
he could be.
He
They
could
could
be.
definitely rewrite it and have
Can
him
we just
alive.
be clear to you guys watching at home? Adam's not alive, but he
But
might
he could be. He could be. But he's not
maybe he is.
as of right now.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's not.
But he could be.
But
in
he
the
might
future.
actually be alive.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
We're very clear and definite the fact that he's dead, but he might not be.
But he might not be dead. That's up to the writers.
Yeah.
Number 3, we have Hoffman blackmailing Amanda.
Big power move.
This is something that's spread across the span of a few movies. This one was a long time coming.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it all the better because you sort of forget about it and then all of a sudden it pops up later and you're like, hang on, this makes so much more sense. It makes so much more sense that especially when Amanda kills Lynn, but she looks like she really doesn't want to do it. She's not even staring at Lynn. She's sort of, it's almost like she's being forced to.
She's at her wit's end.
She's at her wit's end. She's not even looking at Lynn. She raises that gun while she's crying and looking away and shoots her. And the only way that you can describe it is that she's being forced to. And that's how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, was this another decision that, of course, was changed later? Maybe so, but it
think
worked out
definitely.
very, very smart.
Definitely it was changed later. I don't think
Yeah.
they ever had that idea in mind. But I think that the way it was filmed worked so much in its favor because it really does seem like she doesn't want to.
Yeah, it all lined up very
It
well.
all lined up really well. I think that it's interesting that Hoffman knew that Amanda was with Cecil the night John's baby, Gideon, dies. Very cool that he knew about that and no one else did. Did John know about it? Who knows?
How
But
did Hoffman know?
Yeah, I don't, he's a detective, right? Maybe
He's a detective.
Maybe he detectivified it. I don't know. Ask Strahm. Strahm knows
Easily.
everything.
Yeah, maybe Strahm told him, yeah. On that note, what's next?
Next up, we have Strahm's tracheotomy.
How can it not make this list?
The home job tracheotomy from Strahm. Now, did Hoffman leave the pen on Strahm?
Oh,
Did
let's
he
not-
anticipate the human mind enough to know that Strahm would escape this trap?
Let's not go too
That's
far
a hot take.
into that one.
You guys let us know in the comments. But either way,
Very smart move. Strahm saving himself with his own pen.
Mm-hmm.
And Hoffman seemed pretty surprised when Strahm came out of that building alive.
yeah.
This is a pretty smart move.
Hoffman seems surprised before, though.
He's
Fake surprised. He has.
Yeah.
But yes, a very smart move. I think it's one of the most badass moves in the whole franchise. It's the one you look forward to. And Saw 5, what a freaking amazing film. Like, the things that you have to look forward to in that film. And of course, starting off with the iconic water cube trap. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, an incredibly smart move by Strahm. At the end of the day, there was no way out of that cube.
No.
No way.
It was built for his execution.
No way out. And he still survived.
He did.
Simple little tracheotomy.
He did. Strahm said inescapable trap who, and he made it work. He ended up on a gurney with a hole in his throat.
Yeah.
But he made it out.
Don't ask how, after he gave his tracheotomy, how he got out of the cube. Because there's no answer to that part. Yeah, he's got the tracheotomy. I don't know, an hour later, I suppose he's still sitting in there, and then finally someone comes and gets him out. Don't ask how he gets out, but smart move.
Smart move on Strahm's half, yes, absolutely.
Very well done. And that leaves us with the number one, the top, the best, the biggest, smartest move in the Saw franchise.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but it's definitely the one...
This has got to be very smart.
It's definitely the one that we look forward to seeing the most, and that is Hoffman escaping the reverse bear trap.
The reverse bear trap escaped by sticking his head between those bars.
Now, it begs the question, would Hoffman have escaped if he wasn't in those surroundings? Who knows? But I think that he used the surroundings to his advantage. Jill is by no means a gruff person and does not put people in traps for a living, so I think he definitely took advantage of her crafty work by tying him to the chair. She obviously didn't do it very well, but he got out, he broke his hand, and then broke the door with his jaw.
Yeah, it's he did it. Look, it was doubly smart. He used the bear trap to smash his hand out of there, and then used the door to stop the bear trap. That's doubly smart. And in all the span of 60 seconds. That's pretty smart.
That's pretty smart. That's almost too smart. That's almost not possible.
That's
smart.
Almost a bit questionable about could you actually think about doing that. Maybe he's thought about this before, though.
Well, that's what this is why it begs the question of like Hoffman being able to think about how to escape the bathroom. Like the fact that he could escape that reverse bear trap in 60 seconds that was supposed to be inescapable. There was no actual way for him to get out, and he still managed to find a way. I think that just goes to show that he's thought about this before. He mutilates his hand, which it's great to see. It's just great. And then he shoves his nice reverse bear trap jaws into the door and then prevents them from going off and gives him time to wiggle his way out.
I mean, look, I think it's so smart that you don't even see it coming, really. Like, maybe when it's going off, it plays out when you're first watching it. Like,
that it's the end of Hoffman.
It's the end of Hoffman.
Did you think it was the end of Hoffman when you first saw it?
You never know, but it's the way it was like doing it, sort of edited and all sorts of stuff, cutting it all together. You definitely felt like this could be the end. Like it's showing all these flashbacks and everything. It definitely played out like he's probably done. But the way he got out, you could never have guessed it.
No.
You'd never be like, well, very smart.
Yeah.
I think the first time you ever see him do it, you probably just think to yourself, very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Very, very smart.
Very smart.
I think that I'm extremely glad that the first time we get to see the reverse bear trap go off is not on Hoffman, it's on Jill. I'm very glad. I don't know how I would see the franchise if they had have killed Hoffman in that scene.
You probably stop watching it there.
I don't think my love for it would be as big as it is now if they had have killed Hoffman in
You'd
that
probably never
reverse
watch
bear
another
trap.
Saw film ever again. Let's be honest.
Well, they could bring him back like they do with John.
Could they?
You know, beating a dead horse and just bring him back
Do a
in
prequel?
flashbacks every single movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be the same, though, would it?
wouldn't be the same.
Because we're looking forward to Saw 11 starring Hoffman at this point, and if
Yeah.
it wasn't starring Hoffman, we might not be looking forward to as much.
Not as much. No.
Not as much. So, very, very smart. That's our top 10 list. If we've missed any, please let us know. Obviously, we're talking about 10 movies here, so anything that should have made that list and didn't, please let us know in the comments.
And we'll let you know if you're valid or not.
That's right. We'll let you know if we agree.
And would you like to see our take on the dumbest decisions in Saw? Because there is a number of them that we could put together. It might take us a little bit, but if you'd like to see it, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And you know what? On that note, let us know what you think some of the dumbest decisions were so that we can put them in that list. Because, look, if you can save us some of the time to put that together list and give us the dumbest moments, fantastic. Write them down there. We'll cut that video together.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time, guys.
Game over.